started, so let's jump into the game.
Alright. So we have, in the bottom left, once again we are on Overgrowth. We have the red Protoss from Team Fnatic, he's Ignite. And his opponent, the Dutch Turk from Team Esports Club Visualize. He's the green Turk, he's RainMan. So our first non-mirror matchup of the night, PvZ. I do feel that PvZ was RainMan's best matchup, unless I'm very mistaken. I have to look up some of his stats for that. But still, this should be a really cool matchup unless either player makes a couple of mistakes. But really, these players are on level, let me tell you that.
So this is going to be a very interesting series, and quite a lot on the line as well. As this is the loser's game, if you get the win here, obviously you're in with a second chance to advance through the group. You go into the decider up against Golden. If you lose this though, you're knocked out from this group stage.
Yes, so just to correct everyone who was thinking that might have been the case, Golden is not out. He just pretty much lost the winner's match, so he still has a chance in the next game, which we will be casting. But for now, all eyes are on RainMan and Ignite to see who will actually be going through and will be knocked out here in the Dutch StarCraft League. And we have an in-base Forge opener from Ignite. Which is something I haven't seen in a long while. Like, I think Grubby used to do this in Wings of Liberty after he got back from training in Korea. And oh my god, RainMan is actually going to go for 14 full, whereas Ignite seems to be blindly building a proxy pylon.
This is a little bit frustrating. Okay, second he sees that, he cancels the pylon.
Yeah.
Not going to be going for it. Going for the Forge without the cannon rush doesn't put you in an awful situation. It's just not the best economic spot. But likewise, RainMan, he also isn't in the greatest economic position either with that earlier pull.
Yeah, I forgot this is, of course, Overgrowth, where you can do that very particular cannon trick, where you build the pylon on one side of that gap, and you can actually build the cannons on the other side. And, well, needless to say, that's very, very tough for a Zerg to deal with, considering they cannot very easily kill that pylon. But the plans has been thwarted. RainMan played safe, he got an early pull, and this game will be progressing normally as expected.
So the probe just doing everything it can to get as much scouting information as possible here. The two lings bounding after the probe will eventually kill it, depending on how many turns that it decides to make between now and getting back home. Is it going to try and block the third? No, it doesn't. Nice little bit of micro there from RainMan, pulling one of the lings just to make sure that it couldn't.
Indeed, and he kills the probe. The Forge of Ignite only just finished, so I guess he cancelled it? Yeah, he did. He built it in a different spot so he could get the Nexus even quicker. It's quite a nice move by him, but unfortunately for him, this leaves RainMan open to go for a lot of drones. And yes, I did see the camera.
That wasn't me. I'm not quite sure.
Oh, there's people who were in this replay, so this wasn't probably... regardless, there were other people in this replay that were like on Skype or TeamSpeak, like pointing stuff out, and then you can actually see ping notices on the map sometimes.
So keeping an eye on what both of these two are doing, just getting down the cybernetics core now for Ignite, although until that's done, it's very difficult to even try and predict the sort of mid-game to late game that we'll be seeing out of the Protoss, because pretty much everything is still on the cards. The gases aren't super quick or anything like that, so kind of up to preference. Obviously, being a person who played an awful lot of Zerg at the end of Wings of Liberty, whenever I see a Forge Fast expansion, I just assume there's going to be an Immortal Sentry all in. And it is still pretty common.
Yeah, but in this case, there is actually a Stargate on their way, which really sets the tone for the rest of the game. I really expect Ignite off of this to go transition into a Robo to make a lot more Colossus, and he will probably be going for a couple of Phoenix and get some map control. At this point, the timing for his Oracle is a bit off, so I don't, really expect him to do anything of the sorts.
Phoenix would still be a good choice, though.
Yeah.
They can do a lot of damage. They give you a lot of map control, force back overlords, prevent scouting, and have that quite high harassment potential all through the mid game as well. It'd be a nice choice to see that, and it should be what we get. I agree with you. The Oracle timing has pretty much been missed.
Yeah, there is very little Ignite can still do it. Of course, there are no spores anywhere to be found, so they would still be able to do quite a bit of damage. But he is getting phoenixes, and I really wonder what RainMan's response to this will be. He's getting a lot of, well, of course, a roach warren. I do remember he's quite fond of his roaches in the mid game. But some players like to transition into Mutalisk on purpose against Phoenix Colossus, against Phoenix at least, and go for a very air-dominant composition with Corruptors and Mutas. This is, of course, risky in a way, and very, very control-based.
Now, I'm trying to see everything else that's going on. And I've just noticed that we do actually have great map presence from RainMan. He's got one lone Zergling, basically checking every possible position on this map, trying to scout out any proxy pylons that there may be.
Yeah, that's actually a very good thing to point out. Some Zergs will actually, quite early on in the game, make like 6 to 8 Zerglings and just scout everywhere. He has taken both of the Zolnagar towers at this point, and his link speed is only just about to finish up. But he still has to make some sort of significant decisions in terms of his tech. He is getting missile attacks, so I do think we'll be seeing a Hydra Den rather soon.
Quite a few roaches now, 7 of them on their way, as well as roach speed and the +1. This could get very aggressive from RainMan, but I don't think that he's going to be going too high in the production, just because he knows there's no third base. This should be more defensive, waiting to see what's coming out. And unfortunately for him, he doesn't have very much information about what kind of push is coming, just because such a good job has been made of hiding any kind of overlords or any links from being able to get through.
So, I'm really looking at Ignite right now. He's adding on 3 more gateways, he's warping in sentries, and he's got one Immortal with a second one on the way. The Stargate threw off us as well as RainMan, because there's only one Phoenix out on the map, it's only killed 1 Overlord. He is not committing to the tech path, he's going to be committing to the Immortal Sentry. Here it seems off of 2 base, and it's really RainMan's job to identify that. He is getting the Hydra Den as well as a lot of links at this point though, so I do feel that the tech from RainMan as well as his economy is actually in very good shape in order to deal with this, as long as he managed to identify it in time.
One of the slight giveaways that something untoward's happening is that there was only the one Phoenix. It hasn't come in with its buddies to try and harass or pick anything off, and that always is going to leave you scratching your head. What are you spending your money on instead? But as you said, the Hydras are coming out, there's a lot of lings. I don't see RainMan struggling to defend this.
Not quite yet, no. His creep spread is also quite okay. All of his bases are connected at this point. Now, actually, there's a small gap at the ramp of his main. He's up to 140 supply, which is quite good, and he's also getting the range upgrade here for his Hydras, which really helps when you're in a defensive position. His army is also already quite scary. I do feel that he could getting the care base upgrade would help, and he's adding a Spire. Transitioning into Mutalisks and just delaying the push from the Protoss for as long as you can absolutely annihilates Immortal Sentry as long as they don't have too many Stalkers. And here we go, the push is happening.
War Prism allowing additional reinforcements to come through. We've got RainMan attempting to get into a nice defensive position. His Hydra count only at 5 for now, but 6 more on the way. They're going to be the big damage dealers here. And one man, they need to get in a good position. And the longer this push takes to hit in, the more of them there'll be.
Yeah, the surround and the position here is everything for RainMan. His supply is absolutely massive compared to that of Ignite.
Oh, look at this flank of Lings as well.
That's exactly what he needs. Once Ignite moves onto creep, there is an observer though, but once he goes there, it's actually a really good time to strike for RainMan. And there he goes. Here comes the surround from both sides. Nice force fields though, finally cutting out a bit of the army, but the surround is still happening and these Lings are going to town on these Stalkers. The Hydras are still doing a lot of damage to this Protoss army, but it seems that Ignite is holding on.
A lot of that Roach Hydra force was zoned out by the force fields. It wasn't actually dealing damage. Now all the Lings are gone, that's a lot of the damage buffering. Also depleted. More force fields coming through here from Ignite. He's showing some very good control. Drones being forced to pull. It's going to be a close hold.
It's going to be close indeed. More Hydras pop from their base, as well as Roach defenses coming in. Only one Immortal left so far though, and the Hydras are closing the distance. Time Warp a bit too late, another nice warp from little low zealous, but RainMan's Hydra force is just too much here for Ignite, and GG. RainMan sets up an excellent defense and